Yo, what it do? SRT gang, it's your boy with the fat Swaggyreacts, and we are back with another reaction video, man. And tonight, man, we gonna get into uh, on like a Mr. Nightmare video, man. He just dropped this today, like sometime today. I want to say like say like earlier today, and like we're gonna be checking out three scary true Chuck E. Cheese stories, bro. Now listen, growing up as a kid, like when I was a baby, I did not like Chuck E. Cheese, bro. Like I did not like the fact that somebody's walking around in that costume looking like a big ass rat, looking like 6'9". I'm like, nah, bro. Like, nah, cuz, nah. Hell nah. But yeah, like, I'm like, we're gonna be checking out this video tonight, man. Like Mr. Nightmare, I mean, fan base is pretty dope, bro. Like I met a few of you guys, and I really appreciate you guys. So like, I mean, so this is the one we're gonna be checking out tonight, man. We're on the road to 12. I mean, no, 20K. So hit that subscribe button, man, and we'll definitely be on our way. Now I'm saying, cause I drop one of these every night at midnight. Now I'm saying, yes, I'm a little late tonight, but like better late than never. Know what I'm saying? So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let's go.
Remember Chuck E. Cheese? That old arcade with the singing animatronics? Of course you do. I just found out they went bankrupt recently. It made me think back to my horrible experience there as a
Word? Like Chuck E. Cheese went bankrupt? Really? Dang. Like I used to work there a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? But wow, that's crazy.
very little kid. I was no older than 8 or 9. It was like my third and last time ever at a Chuck E. Cheese. This specific location closed down years ago, but it used to be basically down the street from our old house. My mom took my little brother and I, and she let us roam free and do our own thing and play the games, while she sat at one of the tables reading like most of the other parents.
This is exactly how it be looking in Chuck E. Cheese, bro. I'm not even capping. I mean, probably like the little, like two things would probably be a little bit different. But other than that, bro, it looks exactly like this in there, bro. Like, it's crazy. I used to work there a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? I was the cook, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, it was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? It was just the fact that sometimes when those parties came in there, like like with me being the only one in the kitchen, bro, I literally had to make all those orders by myself with no help, bro. So, like, that job was crazy, bro. But I really enjoyed it, man. I met some like pretty cool people there, man, and all that stuff. And I love kids in general anyway, so like I just enjoyed like the whole, you know what I'm saying, experience working there, man. So but yeah, man, like oh yeah, and I had to wear that costume, bro. And that shit is so hot, bro. You can barely see out of it, bro. Like you just pretty much just hey kids, like you don't, I mean you can't really see them. You feel me? Because I mean the suit just so it's hot as hell in that suit, bro. I swear it is.
Parents. I was playing this clown game where you had to shoot the clown's teeth out with this little cannonball shooter. I was playing the games that would get me the most tickets for the prizes. I finished the game again, and the ticket shot out from the ticket slot. That's when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned and jumped in my seat. I was greeted with a giant Chuck E. Cheese mascot in my face. He held out his hand for a high five.
No.
Naturally, I gave him this high five with a
Hey, I don't know what this dude up to, but he's a weirdo, cuz.
smile. He then pointed at the tickets and gave me a thumbs up. I think I just continued laughing and smiling and said, yeah. Then he pointed at the tickets once more and motioned for me to follow him. So I ripped the tickets from the slot and followed the giant mascot.
What?
As we walked across the main floor, a couple other kids around like 6 came up to him saying, hey Chucky, and he gave them both high fives.
Oh man, yes.
I kept following him, wondering if he'd tell the other kids to follow, but he didn't. He would turn back every few seconds to make sure I was still following. Finally, we made it across the main floor by the stage towards this back area, where he waved me to follow him.
Oh no, hell no, bro. See, listen, for any parents, bro, like I've been going to Chuck E. Cheese, that goes to Chuck E. Cheese or anything, please be aware and mindful where your children are, bro. because that actually happened like one time on one of my shifts. Like a kid just randomly was just in the store, and then like come to find out like he was outside across the street because the parents not paying attention to their child. So man, please, please, please be aware on where your children are, man, at all times.
Him through this employees only door. From what I remember about how I was feeling, let's just say a combination of weird and excited. We entered this narrow hallway, and I felt kind of special for being allowed access back here. Keep in mind, I had the mind and maturity of a very young child.
Right.
The mascot led me to this back room where he motioned for me to enter first, so I did.
Oh.
It was this small changing room type of room. It had a few lockers on one wall and one long bench extending half the length of the room. That was it. He entered the room and shut the door behind us, and I noticed he locked it. That's when I became...
See, hell no. See, these are the type of weirdos that we need to be looking out for, bro. Like, come on, bro. What the fuck? I'm trying not to cuss, man. I'm trying not to cuss so bad, bro. I hate people like this, bro. Like anybody to do anything to a child, like you should burn in hell, bro. For real.
Became confused and afraid. I thought he was taking me to get a bunch of free tickets. What could he possibly do in this empty room with me? He approached me, put his furry mascot hand on my shoulder, and then started rubbing from my shoulder to my arm. Then he seemed as though he tried to reach lower with both of his hands, and I pushed him off and yelled, "Stop."
God,
That's when the person in the suit lifted the mask off his head, revealing some sweaty, middle-aged man underneath. He started to remove the rest of the costume from himself as he told me to be quiet. I sat there watching, shaking, and plotting my way for the door. When I thought he was distracted enough by the suit, I tried to run past him for the door, but he grabbed me and told me to stop. He offered me all the free tickets I wanted if I just behaved. I started to yell and pound on the door. He tried to cover my mouth, but I think he gave up when he realized it wasn't worth the risk for him. I unlocked the door and ran back down the hall in tears.
bro.
I ran back to my mom, yelling at her about what just happened. She was distraught and went right to the front desk.
Hell yeah.
The girl at the front desk seemed to be in a panic as well, and I think she called for her supervisor. Pretty soon, all the music was stopped and the place was put into a lockdown of sorts, where all the kids were to go to their parents. A bunch of workers ran to the back section, and eventually police showed up outside. I had to give my whole story to a crowd of like 6 people, and I was extremely nervous. The man in the Chucky suit was some random creep who snuck into the back section of the building to dress in one of the suits and apparently lure children to the back.
Bro, so if it was a... Listen, hold up, wait. For the people that work, I mean, that was working there, like, you didn't find it odd that Chucky just randomly came out the, you know what I'm saying, the back, and everyone on shift that day pretty much seen everyone that was already working, and then just Chucky just comes out of nowhere, so that doesn't like raise a red flag at no point in time? Like, come on, bro. And I used to work at Chuck E. Cheese, bro. That's crazy, dog.
Realizing and looking back at that now as a grown adult is disturbing and disgusting.
Yes,
And
bro.
I was the victim of a predator. I never found out if that monster was caught.
Man, bro.
I used to work for Chuck E. Cheese very briefly when I was 21 years old. I was one of the janitors / maintenance workers. I know, not very awe-inspiring. I was broke as hell and needed money. All my job really
I mean, like, we've all been there, bro. Trust me. We've all been, it's like that point. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get what we can get. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
entailed was cleaning tables and keeping the play areas generally clean. Sounds easy, but there was never really a time to just sit and take a breath. There was always something to clean or take care of. I would also be in charge of turning on and off the animatronics, opening the stage curtains, fixing busted arcade machines, and things of that nature. My shifts would always be later, from like 4 to 10 p.m. My location closed at 8 on weekdays and 9 on weekends. I would stay an hour, sometimes 2 hours after, to get the place in top shape ready for the next day. So this one night, I was working past close like I usually did. Everyone had already left the building, including the other workers, so I was the last one in the building. I was dragging my cleaning cart around the arcade area. I had already turned off all the game machines. I was by that space-themed arcade machine where you had to press the button at the right moment to stop the light on the jackpot bulb. As I was passing by this machine, the space-themed music suddenly emits from the machine at a very loud volume, and all the lights start flashing again. I felt like my heart was in my throat. That's how much it startled me. I fiddled with my keys to access the control port of the machine to turn it off again. I'd never seen anything like that happen before. It suddenly just freaked me out. Only because I was all alone in that big building pretty late at night. The weirdness didn't stop there though. By this point in the night, I had already shut down the animatronics on the stage. So when I heard Chucky's pre-recorded laugh break the silence of the room,
hell no.
my heart...
Hell no. See, that's some creepy shit right there. That's the type of shit you spot only like be seeing in the movies, like just before he about to hop out and kill your ass. Like that, that's just weird.
Started pounding again. The laugh was short and cut off. It almost sounded glitchy. I ditched my cleaning cart to go backstage and check on the animatronics, and I could see they were in their idle modes now, meaning they would move their limbs and heads around every so often. I would have to go to the control room to turn them off, but this was the second strange thing to happen that night.
The second?
I started getting paranoid that someone else was in the building with me, but that thought was interrupted when I noticed that the Chucky animatronic was facing me, and its head angled down perfectly to look as though it was looking at me.
Whoa,
It was bizarre.
hell no.
Bizarre that I was finding it that disturbing. I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
but
bro, do y'all not see this damn... Ain't no,
for my own peace of mind, with my eyes
ain't
on
no
the Chucky
way.
animatronic,
I would have shot that shit. You know what I mean? I don't think I had a gun at the time. I would have got one of the guns from out the machine or something and pistol whipped them or something, because you ain't finna be looking at me like that. I'm sorry.
I walked past it, closer to the control room. I waited there for a few seconds, and then the animatronic spun 90 degrees to face me once more, perfectly. I swear it was once again looking right at me, and then the laughter emitted once again from the animatronic. But in a creepy, glitchy, cut-off manner. This time much louder, obviously because I was right next to it. I ran to the control room to hit the switch to turn everything off on the stage once more. I left the control room, and the Chucky animatronic was still facing the direction it was moments before. I left the stage through the curtain and just felt uneasy. I was starting to think maybe it was all just getting to my head.
Nah, hell
That's
no.
when I heard the horrible laugh again come from the stage behind the curtains.
Bro.
That was the last straw. I took my card, clocked out, and left. I texted my boss the next day that I had to leave early because I was feeling extremely sick. He said it wasn't a problem, but he never mentioned anything about the animatronics being left on. And when I asked him if the animatronics had some kind of motion detecting feature to look at people, he said no, they didn't. I'm not the most superstitious guy, but I firmly believe I wasn't the only presence in that building that night. And I don't mean there was another person in there.
Wow. Hey, bro, have any one of you guys ever experienced anything like this? Well, like it don't necessarily have to be Chuck E. Cheese. Just like it's your job in general. Like, have you guys ever experienced anything like that? And if you did, I would like to know about it.
This is a story from my childhood that I don't like to look back on too much. I was 13. My mom brought my two little sisters and I to Chuck E. Cheese one evening. My sisters are 4 and 6 years younger than me, so it was more for them, and my mom just wanted me to come along. My mom was playing games with my sisters, so I went to do my own thing. It was my only time ever at Chuck E. Cheese, so I was trying to play every game at least once. Eventually, a worker in a red polo shirt came up to me. He was in his lower to mid-20s, I'd say. He didn't seem that old. He asked me if I wanted some more tokens. I said, yeah, sure. He told me to follow him. He led me through this sketchy back door, which led to a back exit.
Lord.
I asked him where he was leading me. He said to his truck. He told me not to tell anyone.
Why? First off, one red flag. you're going in a narrow walking space. Two, why are tokens in your car when you're clearly in the store that has millions of tokens? And three, bro, you're in your mid 20s or early 20s. Why are you worried about
one, but that he had access to all the tokens he wanted and just kept piles of them in his car. I stopped following when I realized he was leading me to his car. I told him my mom would be mad. He tried to push that I follow him a little more, but gave up. Before I walked back inside, he asked for my AIM username, and I gave it to him. I was excited for new friends on AIM. For those of you who don't know, AIM was an instant messenger that was all the rage before smartphones and texting really became a thing. I don't remember his username. All I know, it was something with his name in it, which was Ben. I would sign on to AIM every single night, including that night after Chuck E. Cheese. I signed in, and I had a few friends online. Next thing I knew, I got a message from Ben, so I added him to my buddy list. He said, "Hey, it's Ben from earlier." I replied, "What's up?" and we started chatting. He chatted with me as if we were good friends already. I asked him how he was able to get all the tokens he wanted, and he said it's easy when you work there. He told me he was gonna come to my house that night with a bunch of tokens. I told him,
"No, the hell you not finna come to our house with no damn tokens. You not, what? You better not get us, man, your address, bro."
"No, it's okay." And he told me, "No, it's fine. You live really close to me anyway." I replied, "How do you know where I live?"
Exactly, like, how do you know this, bro? Like, what? Yeah, these are so many, yeah, this is a weirdo, man.
And he said he followed my mom's van on our way home. I blocked his account immediately. I was beyond scared. I told my friends about it on AIM. Some of them said I should tell my parents or call the police.
Hell yeah.
But I waited. Maybe he was bluffing. But no, he wasn't. I heard a truck pull up outside through my open window. I looked out the window and saw the black truck that Ben guy was leading me towards earlier.
Stop
I saw him get out from the truck, and I know he spotted me because he started walking over to my window. I pulled the window in and locked it, and then shut the blind. By that point, he was already halfway to my window, and he was waving his arms at me. I ran to my mom to tell her.
No, bro.
She didn't find it funny, thinking I was kidding at first. But I convinced her after she looked out the window and saw the black truck begin to speed down the road.
That's crazy.
My mom wanted me to show her the AIM conversation, but I couldn't, as I had deleted him off my buddy list and blocked him. My parents called the police, of course, but that was just for peace of mind. They couldn't do anything besides make a report. The next day, my mom called the Chuck E. Cheese and asked about a Ben. They said they had no Bens who worked there. There were also no employees matching that guy's description. The Chuck E. Cheese eventually handed the CCTV footage from the day before to the police department for an investigation, which turned up no results.
What?
My family never went to a Chuck E. Cheese ever again.
It turned out like no results. What do you mean no results? So y'all don't, what, they didn't have cameras or something? Like, what is going on? I'm pretty sure you can identify somebody by their face. Hello, you are the cops. Wow, man, like, shout out to Mr. Nightmare, man. Like, that was some crazy experiences at Chuck E. Cheese, the place I used to work at. It looks, I'm glad I never experienced anything like that, man. That's crazy, man. If you guys ever experienced anything at a Chuck E. Cheese or just at your job in general, if you had any of these situations happen, please let me know down in the comment section, man. And yeah, like this was a good one, Mr. Nightmare, man. Like, shout out to Mr. Nightmare again, man. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss, the one I drop tomorrow at 12 on time. Know what I'm saying? In the SRT game. I'm out this thing, man. Let's get it.